didn't know that you can just flat out lie and take people babies. On January 31st, I took my babies to go get a primary care physician established with Children's Hospital, just so that they have one. Y'all know I'm holistic and all of that whatnot, but I was like, it's still good to have a primary care physician. So when I took them, they're concerned my babies had lost weight. Yeah, my babies had lost weight. That's what happened to all my babies who were breastfed. They lost weight and then they gained it back. So they were mad because they wanted me to admit my babies to the hospital. And I refused. Of course, I'm like, I don't have to admit them. Nothing's wrong with them. My babies aren't dehydrated. They alert. They great, moving around, cooing, all of that, little stuff that babies do. So they threatened me with calling 2-for-1 kids. And of course, I say, call 2-for-1 kids. What are they going to do? Like, my babies are fine. Call them. Not going to do anything. So, and I'm not playing these games with y'all because I've done nothing wrong with my baby. So later that evening, on January 31st, a caseworker comes out to my house. I don't answer. I don't answer the door. I don't answer my phone. I don't answer anything because I didn't have to. So they out there for some hours. So then they had the police come. The police come to my door. Again, I don't answer the door. So but a couple more hours go by, this lady's still sitting outside my house. And me getting fed up, I'm like, you know what? What do you want? So I talked to this lady, and she's like, they want you to take, they meaning the agency, Hamilton County Job and Family Services, wants you to take your babies to Children's Hospital to get a weight check. Remind you, they just had a weight check earlier that day. So eventually, after talking to her, I was like, okay, if I take them to go get this weight, I take them to a doctor of my choice. How is this going to pan out? Okay, everything going to be fine. Let's go on and take them. Can I go with you? I let the caseworker come with me. So I go to my nurse practitioner. The nurse practitioner weighs my babies, looks at my babies, talks to the nurse, talks to the caseworker, JFS caseworker, and tell her name is Angel. I don't know her last name. Angel's the caseworker that came that night, January 31st. And she tells her that the babies, they fine, they hydrated, like they ate, nothing looks wrong with them. Like, yeah, they lost weight. Mom's got to keep breastfeeding. Boom. Caseworker's like, all right, everything's cool. I'm thinking everything fine. I got my own lactation consultant. I'm talking to my lactation consultant. She comes out. We find out why my babies actually had not gained weight. They had a poor suck. So we started feeding them like a different way. And we feeding my babies a different way. They start gaining weight. So come Friday evening, I get a phone call from the nurse practitioner, like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And I'm like, what do you mean what's going on? She's like, yeah, a caseworker just called. And she's going all off on me, cussing me out, saying, why haven't you seen the babies? Why aren't you concerned about the babies and all of this stuff? I'm like, what you talking about? The case is closed. She like, no, like the caseworker just called me. I'm like, this don't make any sense. So maybe like 20 minutes after I get off the phone with her, a JFS caseworker, a new one, calls me. And it's like, you need to take your baby to the doctor. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, what are you talking about? I don't need to take my baby to the doctor. Like, what is going on? Like, what are y'all doing here? Like, I'm like, they on the phone with me at this point. I'm like, what is going on? Why do y'all think y'all need to talk to my babies? Why do y'all think I need to take my baby to the hospitals? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm a whole paramedic. If I felt like something was wrong, y'all tax dollars pay me to diagnose other people's children, to diagnose other people's family members, to save people's lives. Like, y'all pay me to do this stuff. What are y'all talking about? So eventually I'm texting my nurse practitioner. She say, hold on, I'm calling this caseworker. I'm calling her people now because something's not making any sense here. So I get off the phone with the caseworker, and my nurse practitioner involves my lactation specialist too. So my lactation specialist ends up talking to the caseworker and tells the caseworker, hey, I just saw the babies. Wasn't nothing wrong with the babies. Like, yeah, they had lost weight, but we figured out what was going on, and we're getting that handled or whatever the case. So they go on, and they text me, send me a message. Lasha Cauthen, that's the caseworker from Hamilton County Job and Family Services. She texts me and says, sorry for the inconvenience and everything. I've talked to your lactation consultant. Everything's good. Talk to you next week. Tuesday come, and Job and Family Services comes. I get a phone call from Lasha Cauthen again. She's like, oh, well, you are aware that your lactation consultant isn't a doctor. And I'm like, okay, yeah, what does that mean? Y'all's problem was that my babies weren't gaining weight. Y'all were concerned about that and tried to say that I was neglecting my children when I was not neglecting my babies. Like, this happens with all of my children. Same thing that, this is the same thing that goes on every time. Now my babies are gaining weight. What's the problem? Well, now you want to speak to your other children for what? Like, now, what are y'all doing? Like, now y'all acting crazy. I said, so now y'all trying to take my babies. Like, that's what y'all trying to do. Like, y'all trying to take and steal my babies and give my babies to somebody, because that's what y'all do. I've heard about this stuff. What is going on here? Like, y'all got this, now y'all saying it's not going to work. And then they say, and your nurse practitioner isn't a pediatrician, so we want you to take them to our person. And then I get a phone call from an unknown number. I don't answer it because it's unknown. Then I get a phone call where I hit a voicemail. Here go this caseworker in Madison East. She's a supervisor, Alicia Jordan. She says, I'm calling the judge to get an ex parte removal order of your children. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, so I immediately called this caseworker, Alicia Jordan, back, because the number Madison East left me was not her number. So I called the number back and I say, okay, so I call and I'm like, hold on, how are you going to call a judge and get an ex parte? Like, what are you going to say to this judge? Like, so this is what I'm not understanding. What are you saying to this judge? Because my babies have been gaining weight. So what is it that you're about to tell this judge to try to get a removal from my babies? She's like, well, we just feel like you aren't taking care of your children well, and you won't take your babies to Children's Hospital. I don't have to take my babies to Children's Hospital. Like, this is what I'm telling this lady. I'm like, what are you saying to this person? What are you saying to this person? So, she won't tell me what she's going to say to this judge. And from the ex parte order, they can tell this judge whatever they want. They don't have to have proof. They don't have to have anything. They can literally sit there and say whatever they want to say and leave it at that. So did she get off the phone with me? She makes a phone call, calls me back and says, yeah, we got, the judge agreed to give me custody of your babies. And I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, how can somebody just agree to take my children? Like, how does this even work? Like, this, I don't know what is going on. Like, this makes no freaking sense to me.